Hey, this is Kyle Golick of the Smacking Off the Podcast. I'm at the Basketball Hall of Fame. You don't need to come to Springfield, Massachusetts. We got our own Hall of Fame analyst in Dr. Balls.
Dr. Balls is a presentation of Smacking Off the Podcast.
Dr. Balls, the state of college hoops.
Bob, where are you?
Where the fuck is Bob? He's probably in Facebook jail.
That man, Robert never goes to Facebook jail.
He could though.
Yeah,
You know, he's an adventurous man. If anybody on our podcast would not be in Facebook jail, it's probably Sean. Sean's probably about the only most Sean and probably Kyle. Kyle's pretty tame stuff.
It happened to me a couple times back in the early days of Family Smack, but I had to figure out how not to let that happen, because especially on the account that I created the group with, because that would be a target to try to take the group down, is to take down the creator.
I'm currently in the middle of a Zuck for a post that I made 8 years ago.
Oh yeah, it happens.
Yeah.
You should have never thought that even 8 years ago, dude.
Yeah, you're right.
And you definitely shouldn't have typed it.
You're right.
Bob.
There ain't no Bob. There is no Dr. Balls in this Dr. Balls segment. That's fucked up.
Here's what we're going to do. Sean, can you do...
Bob and Niles?
Can you give your opinion and then do a little sock puppet of Bob?
No, I can't speak for Bob. No, that is too difficult.
Shannon?
No, I'm not. You can't ask me to be Bob. That's impossible.
Yeah, there's no one that can do justice to Bob Arthur.
I'm gonna have to ask him. Are you in jail? I mean, he's not responding, so.
Copenhagen Crack is still one of the best segments that we've ever had.
It is.
Yeah. Copenhagen or cracking a Copenhagen can. Well, if he's in jail, he can't tell you because
It was the other day. Let's see here. Final Four segment Thursday. I said
he gave a thumbs up. I thought earlier to the time.
No, he did that Tuesday.
That was you. I'm sorry.
He did that Tuesday. He went to jail Wednesday, and here we are at Thursday. Right?
I thought he commented yesterday in the group chat.
Oh, he may have in another group chat. He didn't in this one.
Right, the other one, yeah.
All right. We can do this.
I
mean, I know, let's see. Florida Atlantic's in. Yep. Who else? Let me think. Don't tell me.
Bama's not in this one, so just not leave them out of this one this time.
Yeah. Let's do that. Okay, so the Hurricanes, the U is in this one.
Yes.
Man, who saw that one coming? Raise your hand.
Half of the Final Four is fucking Florida.
Of course, then again, yeah, isn't that weird? The state of Florida is heavily represented in this one.
Yes. I've got to pull for Florida Atlantic. Shit, I've got to.
Yeah, because they've been San Diego State beat Bama, and that would be just simply amazing.
I mean, either one of those teams would be amazing.
Yeah. UConn got some blue blood showing back up in the situation here. UConn is the only blue blood in this.
But was not expected to go this far this year.
No, obviously. But, again, I always, and I kind of said this early on in the tournament, that the blue bloods like Kansas and UConn's and, the traditional basketball powerhouses, they seem to shine a little brighter when it comes to tournament time.
Mm-hmm. So, Sean, I guess UConn's Big East, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So that's who you're pulling for, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna pull a Big Ten SEC man here, and I'll be rooting for the Huskies to get it done for our conference for the Big East.
All right. So if they can't do it,
They have a very tough game with Miami. That is not going to be.
if they can't do it, how would you like to see this shake out?
Then if UConn can't win, then Florida Atlantic. That would be the ultimate Cinderella story.
But San Diego State wouldn't have that kind of feel. You don't think?
No, I think San Diego State doesn't get talked about enough because their games are. I see enough of their games being on the West Coast, but that's a very mature program. I know they're in the Mountain West, but they would be good in any conference. When Steve Fisher left Michigan, he went out there, and then when Brian Dutcher was with him at Michigan, and then was with him at San Diego State, and then when Fisher retired, Dutcher took that program over, and they've been humming right along.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but they are the team with the most wins and fewest losses at this point. Correct?
No, that's FAU, Florida Atlantic.
Oh wow!
FAU's got 3 losses, right?
I think it's either 3 or 4. Yeah, they're like 30-3, 31-3, something like that. Yeah.
So
that was your bracket buster right there, though.
A lot of people say that anything can happen in this tournament, and like as far as upsets or whatever, but really what it comes down to is some of these teams are just better than people realize.
Yes.
And that's what looks like an upset sometimes may not be as big of as an upset as people think.
I think people slept on Miami a little bit because
not Alex Bryan. He missed everything else, but he got the fucking Miami one.
Well, what I'm saying is right before the NCAA tournament started, I think people sort of, kind of downgraded Miami because of their poor performance in the ACC tournament. But they were ACC regular season co-champions, and I had them actually losing to Texas, but I had them in that game in my bracket.
Maybe they didn't put their eggs in that basket.
But you got to remember that Jim Larinaga, their coach, he took George Mason to a Final Four about 15, 20 years ago. He's a hell of a tournament coach. And Miami's invested, with NIL, a lot of money in that basketball program. So it's not as shocking as it would seem for Miami to be in the Final Four.
Alex Bryan, I don't think he picked them to make the Final Four because we weren't there yet. He was just extremely high on them. You remember that, don't you, Shannon?
Yes.
Yeah, everybody was like, "What?"
My ears always perk up when anybody gives Miami love on this show, and because it's rather inexplicable to me. But
Miami in the last few years, Miami has won some games in basketball that were head scratchers, and maybe there really weren't head scratchers.
Maybe there is something really going on there because they're in the Final Four. There's no doubting that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's taken Larinaga 4 or 5 years to get that program built up, but he's got them there now.
We know who everybody's pulling for. We know Sean's pulling for UConn. Shannon, who you pulling for?
I don't know. I'd kind of like to.
You don't give a fuck.
Well, at this point, San Diego State ruined my Alabama Crimson Tide's chances of being in this game. So yeah, I'm a little salty about it. So yeah, fuck them. FAU all the way.
Yeah, and they pulled out a squeaker against Creighton, last Sunday. That one was tough.
And FAU is your Cinderella. Wouldn't that be just simply amazing for a number 9 seed to win it all?
That'd be great.
So, and I'd like to see FAU win it too. Now here's the contrast to this because we all know who we're pulling for. Who do we really think is going to win this thing? Because those are typically
the winner of the UConn Miami game. Yeah, obviously. I mean, that your strength and your storied programs versus your new up and comers. Yeah, I gotta go with the I gotta go with the established pros on this one.
I mean, you want to talk about how fun and crazy the tournament is. I was looking on my wall. I still have last year's bracket up, and It was all blue bloods, basically. Villanova, I guess, isn't quite a blue blood, but they've been there enough where they're almost a blue blood. You had Villanova, Kansas, Duke, and North Carolina last year. And now this year you have San Diego State, Florida Atlantic, Miami, three who have never been there. And then the lone blue blood is UConn. So it's just funny how you get every few years you'll get a tournament like this where it's teams coming out of nowhere, But I think to Shannon's point, it's whoever wins that Miami UConn game, which is going to be a sensational game, I think will carry the day on Monday night with whoever wins the FAU San Diego State game. And I don't think we should write off FAU to not win that game. San Diego State plays great defense, but they struggle to score at times. And it'll also depend on how that game is officiated. If San Diego State plays very physical, and if they get in foul trouble early, that could be great news for the Owls.
Sean, I wasn't paying attention, and I'm sure you probably already said this. Where are they playing?
Houston. They're going to be playing at the Texans Stadium.
It's kind of right dab in the middle of the two locations, so nobody has an advantage there.
And San Diego State's trying to. So it's been 26 years since a team from either the Mountain Time Zone or Pacific Time Zone has won the tournament.
Wow.
And then
last name was UCLA?
Arizona.
Oh. Yeah, I remember that now.
The Mike Bibby team. And I think Tayshaun Prince was on that team. But, Houston, Saturday, late afternoon. And then is the first game, San Diego State and FAU, and then the nightcap is Miami UConn. It's been just a fun.
Which is probably, and I hate to say this, but that, the Miami UConn game is probably going to be the most exciting game because the championship game, I don't know. I suspect that not only will the winner of Miami UConn be the winner of the tournament, but I think that final game is probably going to be a little bit lopsided, don't you? Wouldn't you be surprised if it wasn't?
I would not be surprised if Miami or UConn, whoever they would take on in that title game, were to pound them. That would not surprise me. No.
Tell me, is this Miami's first Final Four appearance?
It is.
Okay, and obviously Florida Atlantic's and San Diego State's, right?
Correct.
Wow,
that's amazing. You got one experienced program in here in this regard. That's fucked up.
UConn, if they were to win the title, will move into a tie for fourth all-time with Indiana and Duke with 5 championships.
That's some lofty company right there.
Wonder when the last time that we had a tournament, that we had a Final Four with 3 teams that have never been in.
Oh, hi. I'm Clemson Dane, and this is Smacking Off, the podcast.
It's like cocaine or something. I don't know. These motherfuckers just talk about college sports. Specifically, college football, and man, let me tell you, it's a hoot.
You can now tag team our affiliate retail deals with Overstock, Walmart, and Best Buy.
Find our affiliate links at smackology.42web.io and click affiliates at the top of the page.
I think they said sometime in the late 70s.
Yeah, absolutely.
Man, that's pre-COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could shake hands back then. Ride the back of the pickup truck going down the interstate.
Yep. And we did.
We did. Oh, man, we did. That was such a wild time. I think about my childhood and some of the shit we pulled off when I was a child, and just, I mean, man.
Sean, be honest. Did you ever ride in the back of a truck?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It was a normal thing back in the day.
Did you ever ride in the back of a truck standing up on the interstate going 70 miles an hour, pass a cop, wave at the cop, and the cop flashes lights way back at you, and then everybody just goes on and goes and drinks a beer somewhere?
No, I can't say that I did that.
Yeah. Dad lifts his beer up as he's driving and gives a thumbs up to the cop. Yeah. And that's the time that we lived in, man.
My granddad used to be an engineer for Birmingham Southern Railroad, and we used to watch him on his run, we used to go down to the track. Me and my grandmother did, and he would hold a beer up as he was going by. I swear to God. Nowadays, they would have to send him to they'd have to send him to rehab.
No. He'd probably get like charges now because they're with all the stuff going on with the rail system right now, the derailment that we
back
had
in that day,
Ohio.
though, like the Birmingham Southern engineers, they were probably just about all drinking beer.
Oh yeah, back there were probably a cooler there waiting for them as soon as they got to the station to to reload. It's that driving a train's thirsty work.
That would be a good Twilight Zone, wouldn't it? To bring some people from the 70s into this to the modern decade.
Oh no, they would be in jail like within 24 hours, all of them, every single one of them, and they would
scratching their head saying, "What the fuck just happened?"
One of them would probably talk to the police like we were able to do back in the 70s, and they would be shot on sight. Sorry.
All right, guys. So what else can we talk about here?
Other basketball news. Alabama sensational freshman Brandon Miller is declared for the NBA draft.
Oh man, did not see that coming. Yeah, and Tuscaloosa, I hate to say it, they can't wait to get rid of him. This is one of the most peculiar situations I've ever seen with a freshman phenom, because usually the college will do anything and everything they do to try to keep a young man that would be able to benefit their program, which Alabama hasn't had a whole hell of a lot of success in that regard, and would love to kind of maintain a consistently highly valued program, highly touted program. But no, no, Brandon. If you want to go to the NBA draft, we're not going to stop you, man. Here, let me go ahead and help you pack your bags.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Because the whole Brandon Miller thing has been some of the absolute worst PR for what should be the biggest, one of the biggest basketball stories of the year. That suddenly Alabama has developed a really, really good caliber basketball program finally.
Yeah, the last 3 years have been very good.
But this year has been completely every bit of that has been drowned out by the being off the court situation where that young lady lost her life, and that's the absolute worst part of this. And with all the rhetoric and all the finger pointing and he should be this and that should be there's still a young lady that I mean, her whole life is gone. And that sucks, man.
It's terrible.
So I mean, look at it from a strategic standpoint. Miller coming back to play another year at Alabama would be the most massive of distractions, and they need to try to gain some kind of momentum going into this next season. So sorry about your luck, player.
Yeah, but because everything looked great this year, but in the end, it just shook out like most Alabama seasons do, even when they're good.
Now, let me ask you a question though, because Brandon Miller, is rated very high as a draft pick, but this has to drop his stock slightly.
Not from what I've read from some of the NBA circles. He will likely be a top 3 pick in the draft.
So pretty much all of the rhetoric that's been going on off the court is just that, according to what NBA, the NBA scouts and team representatives are saying about Brandon Miller. Much ado about nothing.
Much ado about nothing. They're going to draft him. Depending on who wins the lottery, first, second, or third. It depends on what a team needs, but he should be one of the first 3 selections.
Wow. So I mean, you definitely don't want to pass up on that. So I don't know. Maybe I just think Tuscaloosa is really ready for this whole situation to kind of wind up in court and doing its thing there and off of the pages of the social media. I can't say magazines and newspapers anymore because nobody's buying those. Print media is dead as fried chicken.
Let's see if we can decode this, guys. The last post that Robert Arthur made was 14 hours ago, and he said, "I find Uranus to be a gas giant."
Weather.gov.
Weather.gov.
I think he's in trouble. That's code. That's definitely
He's not
code.
wrong.
That's code.
Oh boy. All right, guys. What else can we say?
When's Spike coming on?
Hell if I know. He was supposed to come on a few weeks ago and he didn't show, and I haven't hit him back because we've been doing these basketball ones, and I felt like if he wanted to come on, he'd hit me up. So
yeah, he's been entertaining himself in Unguided, the hunting group. Yeah, that's been a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, Pike's a hunter. He's a hell of a hunter.
Yeah, somebody. No, he's decidedly not a hunter. He would much rather get his chicken from the grocery store.
He'd just rather chuck his own chicken.
Of course, you don't have to really hunt chicken. Not for real.
No, they're pretty. I mean, they'll come to you if you got some.
Yeah, you throw some corn. You throw some corn down, and they're coming straight to you.
Yep.
Gentle as a lamb.
All right. So when is the Masters, Sean?
Well, we got it's next week. Starts next Thursday.
Okay, so here's the deal. I'm going to be out of town this weekend. I'll be back Tuesday. So
where are you going?
I'm going to Chattanooga.
You going to Nooga? What you doing up in Nooga?
Oh, whatever people do up in Nooga.
Well, there's some stuff to do up there.
Yeah,
they got that there aquarium. That aquarium's real nice.
Yeah, we may go to the aquarium if it rains.
Yeah, I got you.
If not, then we may.
Well, and that's the thing is that once you see the aquarium, there's no reason to go back and visit for like 10, 15 years. And now Atlanta Aquarium, that's completely different because Atlanta Aquarium, they change their exhibits pretty often. With the exception of the really large tanks,
There's some cool shit there other than the aquarium. The Incline Railroad is pretty awesome.
I hate to say it, but I think the one in the little Ripley's aquarium in oh God, where's that? Gatlinburg. I think it is. I actually think per square footage is a better aquarium than the Tennessee Aquarium, and I will defend that to my death.
I didn't know that they had an aquarium there.
Dude, it is, man, it's amazing. They got sharks, and you can go in a tunnel and the whole thing. It's definitely much smaller, but they pack more in. So you know how there's like spaces and kind of, not really a whole lot in different areas of the aquarium in Tennessee. There is like every single square footage. Even if you go to the bathroom, there's a fish tank in there. There's like, aquatic exhibits everywhere. And they're not corny. They're not cheesy. They're not like a fish tank with a seahorse in it. And here's your seahorse. I mean, they really put some thought into it. It's really nice.
Maybe we should have went to Memphis instead. Elvis Presley Boulevard.
You got to stay strapped in Memphis though. they ain't playing up there.
Yeah, I ain't going to Memphis. I heard a lot of shit about Memphis from somebody. I don't remember who.
Now I don't know, man. If you're from Birmingham and you've lived in and around, particularly the area that that you live in, kind of out toward the interstate a little bit. If you've hung out there enough and interacted with those folks enough, it's pretty much the same thing up on the other end of 78. Both ends of 78 are virtually the same town. True. I mean, that is a fact with my hands up. Because 78 ends in Memphis.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen the end of it several times.
Yeah, you told me.
Is Graceland in Memphis or is it outside of the city?
No, it's like in the hood, man.
Really?
Yo.
Yeah, it wasn't back in the day, but
no. But the hood is definitely has definitely encircled Graceland.
The hood expanded up there.
Yes. Lots and lots of hood in Memphis, Tennessee.
All right, guys, go Owls is all I got to say.
Yeah.
Go.
What do they say? Hoot hoot.
Yeah, I guess.
We'll call Lane Kiffin. He knows.
All right, guys.
Later.
Hey, Sean, I'll talk to you next week.
Yep, sounds good.
Later.